Dear campus, I remember standing in the pancake line at Depot one Saturday morning when I heard the guy in front of me say, "Yo, boss, you violated. Where's the syrup?" His accent was thick and guttural, unlike my non-existent accent. From the jump, I knew he was from Brooklyn. When you hear your common tongue at a PWI, it feels like you've been reunited with your sibling for the first time in years, minus the fact that you don't know the person at all. Anyway, I decided to tap his shoulder, asking if he was from Brooklyn. Turns out that he was a senior here on campus, who was indeed from Brooklyn, and actually lived on the same block as my aunt. Crazy. But anyway, we talked for a bit, and as the conversation ended, he told me that I wasn't going to like it here. As naive as I was, the only thing I could respond with was, "Really?" displaying a massive amount of premature dismay. And oddly enough, he never said why. It was weird. When I told this story to my family and friends, they convinced me that he was just being a jerk. His words were just an effort to dissuade me from getting the best out of my experience as I embarked on my journey through higher education. Eventually, I brushed it off. But let's fast forward to the present, my sophomore year. I'm all settled in, and I have a year of experience, so I guess it's safe to say that I know the ropes. But at the same time, I constantly find myself in a place where I realize that particular circumstances on campus haven't changed at all, which only leads me to think that maybe he was right. To say that I love my university is an understatement. I love meeting new people just about every day. I love the luxury of having a single room for the second year in a row. I love so much the idea of an open curriculum that I'm double majoring in biology and Russian studies. And I love that the people most involved with minorities and diversity on campus continue to demonstrate that it is completely possible to grow as a person in a place where 25% of the people that you probably engage with on a daily basis actually look like you and or share your culture. But there's still a very salient gap, and it seems like it cannot be concealed. Let me make it a little clearer. I have seen more Patagonia fleeces in tan Sperry shoes in a year than I've seen in my entire life. I've had the honor of listening to students, some being my own friends, describe the amazing life they live and continue to live without them actually realizing how privileged they are. Because it's natural for them to go on vacation with their family or their friends, or even both, when school is not in session. Because it's natural for them to have both academic and financial resources readily available when necessary. Because it's natural for them to not have to want for anything at all. It would be a lie to say that I came to the school blindly, not knowing that a prestigious school in Western New York would have such a disproportionate population of white people to minorities. But I did know, and that is why I came here with open arms, ready to welcome diversity in every aspect. What I got in return was a stifling cloud of pressure to represent my entire race in the most pristine way possible, especially because I am the only black girl in most of my classes, and I'm trying so hard to fight off every stereotype of black people propagated by the media. Similarly, there should be no reason why I feel uncomfortable and out of place living in a hall where, for the second time, I am but one of the only 2 black girls. Moreover, there should be no reason why I am the only black girl in an organization strictly devoted to making freshmen feel comfortable in their first year of college. I listened to the white students in my hall and throughout campus blast Chance the Rapper, Beyonce, Future, Kendrick Lamar, dare I say it, Tupac, and so many more black artists, and I get kind of jealous. I'm jealous that they can so openly do that and be deemed cool by their counterparts. I definitely don't hate them for it, but it feels like we can't have a thing to ourselves sometimes. Especially when society imbues our culture with appropriation, but disregard when we praise it. I even find myself wondering sometimes whether or not these students would ever be allies or advocates on behalf of the Black Lives Matter movement, since they glorify our music so much. But out of sheer guilt, I dismiss these thoughts because it is unfair to be so rash and to intimately judge them before I even get to know them, kind of like the unfair narrative of Black lives throughout history. It is just so frustrating to induce this conversation repeatedly. It is frustrating to hear students make conversation and laugh over nothing 24/7 because they do not have to worry about a thing. It is frustrating to hear students scream for fun at all hours of the night because they do not have enough fear to even entertain the idea of public safety telling them to be quiet. And even if public safety did approach them, worry not, because they will be protected by that cute little principle where you are innocent until proven guilty. Unless you're a minority, that is. And you're automatically presumed guilty without being offered the slightest chance to prove your innocence. I want an inclusive environment. I want change. And no, I don't want to be treated exclusively like a fragile flower. I don't want to have to always seek out programs specific to people that look like me in order to feel comfortable. Why is it expected that somehow I can reach my maximum growth in a place where the only people that seem to be struggling along with me look like me, share many of the same cultural attributes with me, and have just about the same socioeconomic background as me? If I knew that were the case, I wouldn't have left home. I want myself and my brothers and sisters here on campus to be able to live in a place without fear of being judged for being Black or being a minority, period. I do not want us to miss out on opportunities of friendship with people of different backgrounds or be jaded of academic enrichment opportunities because of what we look like. I say all of this to emphasize that the conversation cannot reach its cusp until the fear is driven out of all of us. We cannot boast a consummate diversity that does not exist. I am ready to live in a place where I can reach maximum potential, surrounded by more people that look like me, all while having a balanced population of students, educators, and staff members that are diverse and threefold. And I am more than willing to be a part of the movement aiming to achieve this. Sincerely, Maria.